1,000-old sisters Tammy Slaton undergoes skin removal surgery after losing 500 pounds. Tammy Slaton, one of the most recognizable faces from the hit TLC reality series 1,000-old sisters, has undergone a significant transformation in her life. Known for her emotional weight loss journey alongside her sister, Amy Slaton Halterman, Tammy has faced immense public scrutiny and personal challenges as she worked to reclaim her health. Her story is one of resilience, determination, and ultimately, hope. In recent years, Tammy has made headlines once again, not just for her remarkable weight loss, but also for undergoing skin removal surgery after shedding an astonishing 500 pounds. This chapter of Tammy's life marks a pivotal moment in her ongoing battle with obesity, self-image, and overall well-being. The decision to pursue skin removal surgery was not made lightly. It came after years of struggle, setbacks, and hard-earned victories. Understanding the full scope of Tammy's journey requires looking at the broader context of her life before her weight loss, the emotional and physical toll of extreme obesity, the process of losing the weight, and finally, the medical necessity and psychological impact of post-weight loss plastic surgery. Tammy Slaton's struggles with weight began early in life. Growing up in Kentucky, she and her younger sister Amy were both affected by emotional eating and poor lifestyle habits. As they grew older, their weight spiraled out of control, eventually reaching over 1,000 pounds combined, hence the title of the show that would later follow them. Tammy, in particular, became known for her larger size, often weighing significantly more than Amy throughout the course of the series. Their home environment played a role in their unhealthy relationship with food. Emotional trauma, lack of structure, and enabling behaviors contributed to a cycle of binge eating and isolation. As adults, both sisters found themselves trapped in a vicious cycle of gaining weight, attempting diets, failing, and then gaining even more weight. This pattern continued for years until their health and lives were in serious danger. By the time TLC cameras started rolling on 1,000-old sisters, Tammy's health had deteriorated dramatically. She struggled with basic mobility, suffered from severe joint pain, and was at high risk for heart disease, diabetes, and other life-threatening conditions. Her mental health also suffered. Depression and anxiety were constant companions, exacerbated by the shame and embarrassment she felt about her appearance. For many viewers, Tammy's story was heartbreaking but inspiring. Watching someone so clearly in pain take the first steps toward change was powerful. But behind the scenes, the road was rocky. Tammy faced intense pressure, both internal and external, to lose weight quickly. There were moments of relapse, emotional breakdowns, and setbacks that tested her resolve. Despite these challenges, Tammy remained committed to her goal. With the support of medical professionals, nutritionists, and therapists, she began to make small but meaningful changes. She adopted healthier eating habits, learned to manage emotional triggers without turning to food, and slowly introduced physical activity into her daily routine. Tammy's weight loss was not linear. Like many people who have struggled with obesity for years or decades, she experienced plateaus, frustrations, and moments of doubt. However, her perseverance paid off. Over time, the scale began to move in the right direction. At first, it was just a few pounds here and there, but those small victories added up. As the pounds came off, Tammy noticed changes beyond just her appearance. Her energy levels improved, her breathing became easier, and she could walk farther without becoming exhausted. These improvements reinforced her motivation to keep going. One of the key turning points in Tammy's journey was when she decided to seek professional help through bariatric surgery. While some critics argued that surgery was an easy way out, for individuals like Tammy, it can be a medically necessary intervention that allows them to achieve sustainable weight loss. Bariatric surgery helps reduce appetite and limits the amount of food the stomach can hold, making it easier to maintain a calorie deficit. After undergoing the procedure, Tammy continued working closely with her medical team. She followed strict dietary guidelines, took prescribed supplements, and attended regular checkups. More importantly, she worked on changing the mindset that had kept her trapped in a cycle of overeating for so long. Losing 500 pounds is no small feat. For someone who has lived much of their life at or near 1,000 pounds, it represents a complete transformation, not just physically, but emotionally and socially as well. As Tammy approached this milestone, she realized that while she had come far, there were still new challenges ahead. One of the lesser discussed realities of massive weight loss is the issue of excess skin. When someone loses hundreds of pounds in a relatively short period, the skin does not always shrink back to fit the body's new contours. Instead, it can hang loosely, causing discomfort, hygiene issues, and even physical pain. For many people, especially women, this loose skin can be a source of deep insecurity and self-consciousness. Tammy was no exception. Despite her incredible progress, she found herself struggling with the remnants of her former body. The excess skin weighed her down both literally and figuratively, making it harder to exercise and reminding her constantly of where she had come from. It was a painful reminder of the past she wanted to leave behind. The decision to undergo skin removal surgery was not one Tammy made impulsively. It required extensive research, consultation with plastic surgeons, and discussions with her healthcare providers. She knew that elective cosmetic procedures were often viewed with skepticism, especially in the public eye. But for her, this was not about vanity, it was about health, functionality, and quality of life. Skin removal surgery, also known as body contouring, involves removing excess skin and fat from areas of the body where it has become loose after significant weight loss. Common procedures include tummy tucks, abdominoplasty, thigh lifts, arm lifts, breast lifts, and lower body lifts. Depending on the individual, multiple surgeries may be needed to address all areas of concern. Tammy's surgeon explained that the procedure would not only improve her appearance, but also alleviate physical discomfort, reduce the risk of infections and rashes, and enhance her ability to stay active. From a psychological standpoint, removing the visible signs of her past could help Tammy feel more confident and empowered in her new life. However, the surgery itself carries risks. Complications such as infection, scarring, blood clots, and poor wound healing are possible, especially for patients with a history of obesity and related health issues. Tammy understood these risks but believed the benefits outweighed them. With her medical team's support, she prepared for the next phase of her transformation. Undergoing skin removal surgery was just the beginning. The real challenge lay in the recovery period. Immediately after surgery, Tammy was advised to rest and avoid strenuous activities. She wore compression garments to reduce swelling and support the newly contoured tissues. Pain management was essential during the first few weeks, and she followed a strict regimen of medication and follow-up appointments. Emotionally, the recovery was difficult. Tammy had to adjust to a new version of herself, both physically and mentally. Scars were inevitable, and while they would fade over time, they served as a testament to her journey. Every mark told a story of survival, strength, and reinvention. Gradually, Tammy resumed light physical activity. Walking became easier without the burden of excess skin. She returned to the gym, cautiously at first, and slowly rebuilt her strength. Her confidence grew with each passing week. Looking in the mirror no longer felt like confronting the past. Instead, it reflected a woman who had fought for her life and won. With the surgery behind her and her recovery underway, Tammy entered a new chapter of her life. She was no longer defined by her weight or her past struggles. Instead, she was focused on maintaining her health, building a fulfilling life, and inspiring others who might be walking a similar path. Tammy used her platform to speak openly about the realities of weight loss surgery, skin removal, and the emotional roller coaster that comes with such a transformation. She encouraged others not to be ashamed of seeking help, whether through medical interventions or psychological support. She emphasized that every person's journey is unique and that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Her bond with her sister Amy remained strong, though their paths diverged in different directions. Amy, too, had faced her own battles with weight and addiction, and together they supported each other through the highs and lows of their respective journeys. Tammy also reconnected with family members and old friends, rebuilding relationships that had been strained by years of isolation and unhealthy habits. As expected, Tammy's skin removal surgery attracted attention from fans and critics alike. Some praised her courage and celebrated her achievements, while others questioned the necessity of cosmetic procedures after weight loss. Social media comments ranged from supportive messages to cruel remarks about her appearance. Tammy acknowledged that she couldn't control what others thought or said. She focused instead on her own feelings and experiences. She knew that the surgery had improved her life in tangible ways, reducing physical discomfort, boosting her self-esteem, and giving her a sense of closure. In interviews, Tammy spoke candidly about the importance of mental health throughout the entire process. She credited therapy and support groups with helping her navigate the emotional ups and downs. She also stressed the importance of patience. Transformation takes time, and healing isn't always visible on the outside. Today, Tammy Slaton continues to work on maintaining her health and happiness. She remains vigilant about her diet and exercise routine, understanding that weight regain is a real possibility. She also prioritizes her mental well-being, practicing mindfulness, gratitude, and self-love. Tammy has expressed interest in pursuing new opportunities, including motivational speaking, advocacy work, and possibly writing a book about her journey. She wants to use her voice to help others who feel trapped by their weight, offering hope and practical advice based on her own experiences. More than anything, Tammy wants to live a life free from the burdens of the past. She wants to travel, enjoy time with loved ones, and explore hobbies and passions she never had the chance to experience before. She knows the road ahead will have its challenges, but she is ready for whatever comes next. Tammy Slaton's journey from a woman struggling with obesity and despair to someone who has reclaimed her health and dignity is a powerful reminder of the human capacity for change. Her decision to undergo skin removal surgery after losing 500 pounds was not about conforming to societal standards of beauty. It was about taking ownership of her body and her future. Her story is not just about weight loss, it's about resilience, self-acceptance, and the courage to ask for help. It's about facing your darkest days and choosing to fight for a better tomorrow. Tammy's journey reminds us that transformation is not always easy, but it is always worth it when you do it for yourself. As she continues to heal and grow, Tammy stands as a symbol of hope for anyone who feels stuck in a cycle of pain and self-doubt. Her message is clear: no matter how far you've fallen, there is always a way forward. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is take the first step toward change. Misty and Tammy are the new 1000 Elb Sisters Season 7 Dream Team. Amy and Amanda. When 1000 Elb Sisters first premiered on TLC in 2020, it quickly became one of the network's most talked about reality shows. Centered around the lives of sisters Amy and Tammy Slaton from the hit show 19 Kids and Counting, the series followed their emotional and physical journeys as they attempted to lose weight and improve their health after years of struggles with obesity, addiction, and personal trauma. The show was raw, often heartbreaking, and at times controversial, but it resonated with viewers who found themselves rooting for the sisters through their highs and lows. Over the course of 6 seasons, the show evolved significantly. While Amy remained a central figure throughout, her sister Tammy exited the series after season 4, citing emotional distress and feeling manipulated by the production team. Her departure left a noticeable void, especially since she had been a key part of the original premise. In her place, the show introduced new characters, including Amy's then-boyfriend Michael Halter and later, Amy's best friend Amanda Thames, who became a co-star starting in season 5. By the time 1000 Elb Sisters reached its 6th season, many longtime fans were growing tired of the constant drama and slow progress in Amy's weight loss journey. Some felt that the show had lost its way, veering more toward manufactured conflict than genuine transformation. Others criticized the lack of accountability and the seemingly endless cycle of setbacks and relapses. But then came season 7, and with it, a breath of fresh air in the form of Misty and Tammy Slaton. Yes, you read that right. Tammy is back, and this time, she's not alone. Alongside her older sister Misty, who has long lived out of the spotlight, Tammy returns to the show with a renewed sense of purpose, clarity, and determination. And the result? A powerful new dynamic that has reinvigorated the series and reminded viewers why they fell in love with 1000 Elb Sisters in the first place. Tammy's return to 1000 Elb Sisters in season 7 was met with mixed reactions from fans. Many were excited to see her back, hoping that she would finally get the support and closure she needed. Others were skeptical, remembering how tumultuous her exit had been. But from the very first episode of season 7, it became clear that Tammy was not just back for the sake of drama, she was here to heal, grow, and help others do the same. Unlike previous seasons where Tammy often appeared emotionally overwhelmed and visibly struggling under the weight of both her body and the show's pressures, this version of Tammy is calmer, more grounded, and refreshingly honest. She openly acknowledges the pain of her past decisions, the toll that fame took on her mental health, and the reasons she walked away. But rather than dwell on the negatives, Tammy uses those experiences as motivation to push forward and make better choices not just for herself, but for her family and loved ones. Her presence brings a sense of stability to the show that had been missing for quite some time. It's almost as if the show itself had been waiting for Tammy to come back on her own terms, ready to reclaim her narrative and redefine what success looks like for her. While Tammy's return was anticipated, Misty's debut on 1000 Elb Sisters was a complete surprise. Long known only through occasional social media posts or brief mentions in interviews, Misty had always preferred to stay out of the public eye. That changed in season 7, when she joined forces with Tammy to embark on a joint weight loss journey. From the moment Misty appears on screen, it's clear that she's going to be a standout addition to the cast. With her dry wit, no-nonsense attitude, and fierce loyalty to her sister, Misty immediately captures the audience's attention. But beyond her personality, what makes Misty such a compelling figure is her honesty about her struggles with food addiction, body image, and self-worth. Unlike Amy, whose journey has often been clouded by external influences and interpersonal drama, Misty's approach feels more introspective and focused. She doesn't sugarcoat her setbacks, nor does she shy away from difficult truths about herself. This authenticity resonates deeply with viewers who are tired of watching scripted meltdowns and instead crave real, unfiltered emotion. What's also refreshing about Misty is that she isn't trying to fit into the mold of a traditional reality star. She doesn't seem interested in gaining followers or building a brand. Her sole focus is on improving her life and supporting her sister. That kind of sincerity is rare in today's reality TV landscape, and it's one of the main reasons why Misty has become an instant fan favorite. Together, Misty and Tammy form a duo that is equal parts entertaining, inspiring, and emotionally resonant. Their chemistry is undeniable, whether they're bickering over meal plans, cheering each other on during therapy sessions, or sharing vulnerable moments about their childhoods. There's a deep bond between them that feels genuine and unbreakable. Their relationship isn't without its challenges, of course. Like any siblings, they have disagreements and moments of frustration. But what sets them apart is their willingness to work through those issues together, rather than letting them fester or blow up for the cameras. They hold each other accountable, offer tough love when necessary, and celebrate every small victory along the way. This partnership has breathed new life into 1000 Elb Sisters, transforming it from a show that sometimes felt stagnant into something vibrant and hopeful. Viewers can feel the shift in energy, the tone is lighter, the goals are clearer, and the emotional stakes feel more authentic. It's important to note that Amy and Amanda's pairing in seasons 5 and 6 wasn't without merit. Both women brought different strengths to the table. Amy's vulnerability and Amanda's blunt honesty created a compelling contrast. However, as the seasons progressed, the cracks began to show. Amy's continued struggles with weight gain, emotional instability, and contentious relationships overshadowed much of her progress. Meanwhile, Amanda's role seemed to evolve into more of a caretaker and enforcer, which led to increasing tension between the two. What started as a supportive friendship began to resemble a toxic codependency, with little forward momentum in either woman's journey. In contrast, Misty and Tammy's relationship thrives on mutual respect, shared goals, and a commitment to growth. They don't rely on outside validation or dramatic confrontations to keep things interesting. They find strength in each other, and in the process of healing, there's a sense of empowerment in their dynamic that was missing before. Moreover, Misty and Tammy aren't afraid to seek professional help and lean on their support systems. Whether it's attending therapy sessions, working with nutritionists, or connecting with other people who share similar struggles, they approach their journey with intentionality and maturity. They also handle criticism and public scrutiny with grace. Rather than lashing out or playing the victim, they acknowledge the feedback and use it as fuel for self-improvement. This level of emotional intelligence is incredibly refreshing and sets a positive example for viewers who may be dealing with similar issues. With Misty and Tammy now at the forefront of 1000 Elb Sisters, the future of the show looks promising. Their presence has not only revitalized the series, but also opened the door for new storytelling possibilities. Whether it's exploring the impact of generational trauma, addressing mental health stigma, or showcasing sustainable weight loss methods, there's a wealth of material to draw from. Fans are already speculating about potential spin-offs or specials featuring Misty and Tammy, and given their popularity, it wouldn't be surprising to see them take on expanded roles in future seasons. There's also hope that Amy will eventually return to the show in a healthier, more stable state, perhaps even reconnecting with her sisters in a meaningful way. Regardless of what comes next, one thing is certain: Misty and Tammy have proven themselves to be the heart and soul of 1000 Elb Sisters. They've shown that real change is possible not through sensationalism or shock value, but through patience, perseverance, and unwavering support for one another. In a world full of reality TV that often prioritizes drama over substance, Misty and Tammy's arrival on 1000 Elb Sisters feels like a breath of fresh air. Their journey is far from easy, but it's undeniably inspiring. They remind us that healing is not linear, that setbacks don't define us, and that sometimes the strongest transformations happen when we face our struggles together. So while Amy and Amanda certainly had their moments, it's Misty and Tammy who have captured the hearts of fans and redefined what 1000 Elb Sisters stands for. They are, without question, the dream team of Season 7, and we couldn't be happier to watch them rise.